Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And it's a couple of days after the TonysBonsai Extravaganza, and straight away, absolutely impressed with how many people came. We had Jason, we had Adam from notionbonsai. Well, you know that, in fact it's probably me you don't know. Loads of different subscribers turned up, and family, and I had best time ever, and I ate so many Bacon Butties and had loads of cups of tea, and that's all courtesy to his incredible family. I was blown away. From what I understand, they'd spent the week getting the back garden set up, and I know you'll have seen from Jason's video the setup and how it went and how it all was, so I'm not going to reiterate all that, but on a personal point of view, you know, I was blown away. I was definitely blown away, and when I did eventually get back, I mean, it was 2.5 hours up, 2.5 hours back, and thankfully I had Alex Braunton with me, and he did not stop talking. By the end of it, he was telling me that he could barely speak, his throat was so sore. I slept for ages on the Sunday. Unfortunately, that was through Mass and through the pre-sermon, but hey-ho, it was all in a good cause, wasn't it? No, I had a great time, and that's all down to Tony's family, so thanks very much. Now, before we actually look at the big swag that I managed to get from Tony, why don't we nip over and have a look at just a couple of teaser trailers that feature Tony. Now, of course, Tony, being Tony, was very eager to sit me down and make it clear who the master was, and I think really the best way of showing you exactly what I mean is showing you this clip. I'm with Tony in the real place where bonsai truly happens, the maker of the Tony trunk chop, and today he's going to try and help me decide what to do with that.
It must be nice for you to be next to a Bonsai Master.
And his dad.
T-shirts don't lie. So we've got to look at the base here. We've got nice roots coming on this side, which kind of support the design. Those trees, they act like an anchor.
One of the requests Tony did make of me was about a number of trees that he knew that he's had a lot of subscribers who were asking about and wanted updates about, and the first of them was this challenging Scots pine, and it's sort of got quite leggy. I mean, it's healthy, that's the key thing. A bit of wire scarring. Tony mentioned that the wire had been in there a bit of a long time, but that's not really an issue for Scots pine, because we know eventually when that bark craggles over, that isn't going to be a problem. Is craggle a word? That was at Fraggle. Anyone remember Fraggle Rock? What was the redhead Fraggle? I can't remember now. So we've got some branches all over the place, but the main thing about this one, it's a challenge. I very nearly said I wouldn't take it because I thought it was beyond me, but beyond me, honestly. I mean, it's daunting. That wound, that's a big old wound there. And I mean, to be fair, the process of healing is already started, and that's pretty good actually. If you look at it all round, I think a little bit of nibbling away, reopen, and get it to roll over a bit more. I think a lot of the hard work's actually been done. What I probably need to do is just take a little bit out of that so there's something more to roll into, but I think that's going to be fine. It's the challenge is then going to be to work out what to do with that. I had a few ideas. Someone talked about fusing branches along to the trunk and all sorts, but yeah, so you'll definitely be seeing that base again in the future soon. Now, the other tree he was particularly adamant that I take on was this Hawthorn, in which he did the split the trunk with branch splitters, as Peter Chan does, and he's vet taped up, and he says to me it's healing along nicely. There's obviously growth from it, so I mean, he suggested to me it would have had more than enough time to turn up its heels if it wasn't going to hang around for the long term. But that is something I also need to explore, and again, it's going to be a video over the next few weeks as I pull off the vet tape and let's see what gets revealed. But Tony gave me a bit of a free hand with this one. I'm still not sure whether it's totally my favourite, but perhaps that should make the challenge better for me. The only thing, dare I say it, and thankfully I can say it knowing it hasn't come from here, is that right at the top there is definitely some red cedar rust. So I was a little bit uncertain when I was at Tony's, but I will call out to everyone now, anyone who got Hawthorn from Tony's, watch out, have a look and see if there's red cedar rust. If there is, treat it with fungicide, cut off the affected areas, and probably put it out of the way of any fruit trees or eastern cedar. Is it eastern cedar junipers? I don't think it's down to anything. I think at the moment the UK is seeming to have a whole plethora of different fungi type related things coming in, whether it be hitting the yews, whether it be hitting hawthorns and junipers. The fact that it was up in Preston, he had no link to Doncaster, which is where I thought I'd got the infection from. I think it's being blown away on the wind. So yeah, so that's the only thing I suggest to you. So anyone who took a hawthorn away, make sure you have a look at it, inspect it. I'll give you a close-up of the area where I can see that it is, so that might just help you with your identification. You know, it's a sad reality, but if we come in close there, and I'm looking specifically at that spot there, they're the open spores, and some there, and again on that leaf as well, and looking around it again on leaves there. So yep, it's got infested with it. I'll treat it, and we'll keep working on the tree. And it wasn't just those that I came back with. I've also got these two spruce, which have been put in these I think they're rolled in tin canisters or something. But if I remember rightly, a little while back, I don't know if it's in the winter, Tony put these spruce, wrap the roots down around rocks. And the whole idea, I think, is to have, well, this is again in essence a root on rock, but I'd imagine significantly taller roots on rock. And I know when we were discussing, I think his father and he himself was saying the challenge with this might actually be working out how to get this out and also to get it bedded in, so that we keep getting the roots going and can see this wonderful experiment.
And settle it. Because the problem then could be if you get it in the parents' how do you get it out?
Yeah.
I'd get it out.
I'm just intrigued to see the FM out, how that works out. But it's not just mine. The next time you see this, it will be Alex Braunton, who, if you remember, was a bit of a star when we did a restyle of his oak last year. Link's just up there. But yeah, so he's picked one of these trees, and it's strange, he's actually picked the one that's got less movement. I don't know how that happened, but I'm sure that it's down to his generosity, his humility. So yeah, so we've got these two, and we'll see more of those. The best thing of this whole extravaganza was the auctioning of his trees. And I know you've probably seen some clips of that on Jason's video, and I had to bid on one item, and anybody guess what it is? And I'll give you a hint, it's definitely not elm cover.
35. 35.
Well, I'll go 40, but I won't be able to go for that the Udon.
Got 40 on that.
Anyone else worked out I really want this?
45. Oh. 45.
Because it's you. How far are you throwing me up? Oh dear, you. I finally got a Zelkova for my elm cover collection. I'm really happy.
What? Get a close up of this. Oh, the one that I showed in the thing, yeah. That's good.
This is some of Tony's Zelkova. Now, I very nearly purchased the twin trunky one that Roger had of Roger's Bonsai, but I ended up settling on this. I'm glad I did. It's got a special place in my heart already. It is the only Zelkova I have in my collection of 700 plus trees, and it's growing thickly, and I am so looking forward to working on it. And it was a pleasure to win the auction, and I think people knew fairly early on I wanted it, because they did drive me up a little bit in price, but hey, it's worth it. So cheers to that one.
Second number is number 2.
And what did I have in my grubby little fingers? I had a piece of paper with a number 2 on it. Yours truly won the first raffle. Well, I'll say the first one to be drawn out, which meant I get to pick this.
Oh, fixed!
More trees?
Definitely fixed.
You won't believe you when you say you
I've never won anything before.
You've won!
Where am I allowed to pick from?
What are you going to go for?
Just
Table.
Tony, which one did you tell me I needed to get?
He's chatting.
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tricky decision.
Oh, hang on.
Mix them up. This is nice.
Forest.
Oh.
Forest.
Birch.
Who says I should go for the forest?
Forest, yes.
Where's my lifter?
I say, you've got the van.
I've got the van, I have got the van.
Wow, that's lovely.
That's a nice one.
Watch your back.
Right, next number.
I bet we all remember when Tony put together this this silver birch forest. I can't believe it. Again, I'm absolutely stoked to find that it's in my possession. And for those of you who've been following this tree and want to know how it's getting on, I'll definitely be doing updates and trying to stay true to what Tony said he wants from it, if he doesn't hang in there and have it back from me at some point in the future, which I'm still praying for. T-Rex, that's not Tony's, that's mine, but he's bored of the Dawn Redwoods and wants to know what's going on with the silver birch forest. So we'll move in while we spin it. Needs a little bit of attention. There's definitely been a few areas of dieback on a few of these, but I'm more than satisfied that what is about there, we can move it forward. This silver birch has now joined me in the retreat, and I look forward to continuing its progression. I think there was a few people shouting out fix though, because I think Adam of notionbonsai, he also won too. In fact, the only one who didn't win was Jason. Oh dear. Of course, the other thing that Tony and I had been working on together is that collaboration with the swath trees. We've had quite a bit of fun with that, and I've still got 3 of his trees, which are always called Tony's trees anyway. And this was the large that I challenged him to play with, and as you can see, he's already taken off the vet's tape, and the branches are in their various positions. And I think I'll be doing some work on this fairly soon. Yeah, I think what we want to do is bring this right back in, and if Tony's right about what he was saying, he wants some of these buds to start pushing out from a lot closer into the tree. So I think I'll continue his design and do exactly that, but that's going to be for another episode. But cheers for this one, Tony. So I was pretty happy with what Tony had let me have, and then he kept tugging away on my shirt, as he does, and insisted that I have a look at some field maples, because again, believe it or not, I haven't got field maple in my collection either. And I'd picked out this smaller one, and he looked at me like I was insane, which most of you know by now I probably am. And he said, "No mate, no, I've got a much better one than that for you." And then he pointed off into the distance, and lo and behold, we come back with this one. And he was right, it is definitely different, but all the magic is below there. So I'll pull the camera up and show you what it is that I discovered when he brought it over. Needless to say, the other field maple did go to a good home, and I do believe that Alex has got that. So what we really need to do to appreciate this properly is look down there, and it's that. If you spin that around, you see that trunk movement? There is incredible, and I can't wait until next year when I can get this out of the pot and we can really get to appreciate this, another of Tony's wonderful trees. Now, of course, it didn't end there, because my little wee eye had noticed in his shed or his garage setup, which he builds himself, by the way, were loads and loads of seedlings all set up. There were loads of them, and I'm really surprised that Tony actually hadn't done videos of that before, because his setup was pretty impressive. His results was even more so. This is just a selection of black pine and Scots pine, and the reason why I'm waving breezy like that is because neither Tony nor anyone else there could actually say which was which. So I did say to him that I would kindly wait until everyone had picked what they wanted, and then I'd nab the rest. So I've got a selection of, I don't know, they're 1 year seedlings, looking brilliant. I don't know the difference between the black pine and the Scots pine at this level. I haven't looked online, so if anyone does know the answer, let me know. I'll give you a close-up in a minute, and you can tell me whether there are any black pine in there, because secretly that's what I really wanted. But yeah, so we'll be seeing the development of Tony's pine seedlings, and I think that leads on nicely to where I wanted to go. I had a fantastic day. I think it's really clear. It's clear from a lot of the video that you've already seen from either myself or Jason, and indeed Adam, if his has come out yet. Prayers and thoughts remain with Tony and his family, and if there's anything I can do, I know they'll let me know. And I know I've passed on thoughts from subscribers that have sort of passed them through me, and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I stay open-minded to that, and trust in my case I trust in God that his plan for Tony, whatever it may be, will benefit Tony. I think the last thing I will say is that Tony did make a special request, and I feel again a bit humbled that he made it of me. Was obviously I've got those legacy trees from him, and he said there were a lot of people who were interested in them and did want updates. So if those are the trees you wanted to follow in particular and you wanted updates on them, that will now happen on this channel. And all I can say is I'm going to try and stay true to Tony's form, although maybe not with the vet tape. I hung around to the end. Well, I hang around to the end of everything. I'm normally just get kicked out of most parties, and I was having Bacon Butties shoved very politely at me right through to the end, so thank you again very, very much. Anyway, blah 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 blah. The sun is now cooking my nose, and I'm going to send a big thank you to Adam of notionbonsai yet again. I probably mentioned it already, but he did some technical instruction with me on my Panasonic bridge camera, which he says is supposed to be really, really good. And he showed me how to swizzle a dial to alter the amount of light that gets in. I think it's ISO. So I've been swizzling for Britain, and hopefully you'll notice the different results, or at least there won't be so much fading in and out. It'll either be whatever. So thanks very much for that, Adam. And all I've got to say after that is yes, anyone who got any of Tony's trees and is going to continue to work on them, which of course they would. Tony also asked if it would be possible for you to on occasion send pictures to me at expressionsbonsai@gmail.com, so that they can form part of what I hope will be at least twice a year, maybe 3 times a year update on Tony's trees. Whatever's happening with Tony, his trees are going to continue to thrive, and hopefully we'll be able to give them back to him one day, who knows. So, from Xavier, feeling very, very bittersweet in my bonsai retreat, with even more trees, because you know how much I need those. I'd like to say thank you for watching. I'd like to say a big thank you for Tony and his family, and I just pray and hope that I can keep his trees alive, and that there can be some really decent legacy trees among them, but they will feature. So if you're interested in his trees, you need to watch my channel. That's terrible, isn't it? My channel's not. Is my channel terrible? I don't know. Anyway, it's down to you, isn't it? So, all the best. Happy bonsaiing. God bless. Cheers.